A stunning development in Great Britain. Former Prince Andrew arrested in connection with his ties to Jeffrey Epstein. It follows weeks of new revelations about their friendship following the U.S. Justice Department's release of millions of files from the Epstein case. NBC's Raf Sanchez is in London for us. Raf, good morning to you. First of all, what have you been able to learn so far?
Craig, good morning. This is a fast-moving situation, but here's what we know so far. British police took former Prince Andrew into custody early this morning, local time, in Norfolk. That is in the east of England. It's where he's been living since he was forced out of his royal home in Windsor earlier this month. Now, police are not officially naming him. They are saying at this point that they have taken a man in his 60s into custody, and the allegation, Craig, is misconduct in public office. This is effectively an allegation of corruption. Now, this is important because Andrew, of course, has faced repeated allegations that he sexually abused some of Epstein's trafficking victims. British police are saying that at this point, they are looking into allegations he misused his public office. Now, they are not giving further details at this point, but what we do know is in that massive release of Department of Justice emails from the convicted sex offenders' accounts, there were emails from Prince Andrew, who was a prince back then, back in 2010 to Jeffrey Epstein. He was serving at that point as a trade envoy for the British government. He had access to sensitive trade information, and he sent some of that trade data to Epstein. Again, this is back in 2010. This is after Epstein was convicted in Florida in 2008 when the prince was sending him these emails. Now, this is a serious offense if he is charged. It's worth saying at this point he has been arrested. He has not been charged. This is an offense that can carry prison time. And it underscores, Craig, just the stunning fall from grace we have been discussing with royal historians here in London this morning, trying to find any precedent for this. No one can think of a situation in the modern era where the king's younger sibling has been arrested on suspicion of public corruption and is potentially facing charges. In terms of what would happen next year, first steps would be some kind of decision about bail, and then it would be in the hands of prosecutors over whether to formally bring charges. Craig?
All right, Raf Sanchez for us there in London. Raf, stand by. Let us bring in NBC's chief international correspondent, Keir Simmons, who has covered the royal family for decades. And again, Keir, former Prince Andrew, it should be noted here, arrested on his 66th birthday. Good morning to you. Tell us a little bit more about what you've been able to glean from the situation so far.
Well, as Raf said, a fall from grace, and to be arrested on your 66th birthday, on your birthday in the early hours of the morning, well, that is quite something. I mean, Craig, look, this is a royal scandal alongside scandals that we've seen through the decades, but the royal family have been trying to distance themselves. We've seen that in the fact that we now call him Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor, not Prince Andrew. His title was taken away. His airs and graces, if you like, were taken away. We've seen that in the messaging from King Charles, who, frankly, has had for a long time a fairly distant relationship with his brother, but also even with Prince William. You'll remember, Craig, just in the past few weeks, on a trip to Saudi Arabia, Prince William and the Princess of Wales, Catherine, put out a statement about the Epstein scandal, talking about their feelings for the victims of that scandal. And clearly it was heartfelt and it was a personal message. But I think it was also part of this process of moving Andrew away from the royal family. One of the questions, of course, Craig, is going to be whether that's really possible, because, for example, the royal watchers are talking now about the question of whether there are emails that Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor will have sent while he was a trade envoy, while he was a working member of the royal family. Does Buckingham Palace have records of those emails? Will it be expected? Will Buckingham Palace be expected to hand over that kind of evidence? So the possibility that the royal family get pulled into this is very real, despite their efforts to kind of protect the brand, if you like.
Our chief international correspondent, Keir Simmons. Keir, thank you. We should note we've received a statement as well from the family of Virginia Roberts Giuffre. That statement reads in part, today our hearts are broken. Our broken hearts have been lifted at the news that no one is above the law, not even royalty. On behalf of our sister, Virginia Roberts Giuffre, we extend our gratitude to the police for the investigation and arrest of Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor. Again, that coming from the family of Virginia Roberts Giuffre. Of course, Virginia Roberts Giuffre, one of the most prominent accusers in the Jeffrey Epstein scandal, who died by suicide last year. Keir, thank you. Raf, thank you.
We thank you for watching. And remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.